From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Sulaiman Aleda.
Hello and welcome tonight. President Jonathan writes the National Assembly seeks extension of emergency rule in the Northeast. Former Vice President of the World Bank for Africa, Obieze Kwesili, lashes out at the federal government, carpets economic plans. Inspector General of Police bans rallies or processions around security areas, including the airports. And latest forensic report indicates that former Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat may have been poisoned with radioactive polonium.
On business news tonight, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation absolves itself from the Shaw P fraud allegation.
And on sports news tonight, Rafael Nadal ends the year on the ATP rankings as world #1 after a second victory at the World Tour Finals.
I'm Linda Kibe from Abuja. The huge task of giving Ekiti State a new look tops the agenda for Governor Fayemi. Plus, House of Representatives questions non-implementation of United Nations report on oil spill in Ogoniland.
President Goodluck Jonathan has asked the National Assembly to approve another 6 months of emergency rule in 3 northeast states worst hit by Boko Haram violence. President Jonathan said security forces have recorded considerable gains within the first 6 months and that he believed normalcy will fully return to crisis-ridden areas in the next 6 months. The fresh tenure, if approved by the National Assembly, will take effect from November the 12th.
Following attacks in the northeastern part of the country, which left thousands dead and several homes and schools destroyed, the federal government on May the 14th declared a state of emergency in Adamawa, Borno and Yobe states to curtail the violent activities of the Boko Haram sect.
Tuesday, the 5th of November 2013.
In separate letters to the Senate and the House of Representatives, President Goodluck Jonathan requested for an extension of the emergency rule, which is expected to expire on Tuesday, November the 12th, 2013.
It has become pertinent to request the approval of the distinguished Senate for an extension of the state of emergency for a further period of 6 months, during which time it is expected that normalcy would have been fully restored.
I most respectfully request the House of Representatives to consider and approve the resolution and approve by resolution the extension of the proclamation of the state of emergency by a further period of 6 months with effect from the 12th of November 2013.
The 1999 Constitution provides that a state of emergency, once declared in any part of the country, can only last 6 months, after which it can be renewed by the National Assembly. The lawmakers are expected to approve the extension.
The legislature will do the needful at the appropriate time. The legislature will do the needful considering all circumstances. I think it's necessary to give the extension so that absolute normalcy can return to that zone. And of course, if we don't bring normalcy to that zone, then gradually it will be extending to other parts of the country. So we have to contain it at the theater.
There were some opposition to the emergency rule when it was first declared in May, led by the then opposition party Action Congress of Nigeria, which has since merged with others to form the All Progressive Congress. The presidency will be hoping that this request is given an urgent response.
Please.
Well, as far as she is concerned, good governance does not exist in Nigeria. The former head of the Due Process Office, Dr. Obieze Kwesili, says charges of corruption leveled against the country by economic monetary organizations both internationally and locally should not be treated with kid gloves. She was speaking at a forum on leadership organized by the Daystar Christian Center in Lagos.
But for her voice, the hall would have been dead silent. This was the level of attention given to her speech by all seated here. She has been part of the Nigerian government and so must know why little progress is being made in the fight against corruption in the system.
The selection process of our political class is very good. Am I speaking for you? The recruitment process for our technocratic class. So it's a double one.
The pioneer head of the Budget Monitoring and Due Process Office says Nigeria, after 53 years of independence, has no governance but merely massive transaction of operations. She had more to say outside the auditorium.
There is no good governance in Nigeria. Good governance is a plethora of things. It's about governance that gives the highest possible results, and on the basis that most of the time the best choices of policies are being made and that results are being clearly achieved. If you looked at the misalignment of our resources, our policies, and therefore the results, it would clearly tell you that we have less than the kind of effective governance that we should have. I think somebody should give President Jonathan the studies from the World Bank, the ranking by the Transparency International, the Mo Ibrahim Foundation ranking. There are so many pieces of research that show clearly that corruption is a problem for Nigeria, and if those don't satisfy, he should also look at a recent work that was done by the Open Society Foundation, where it essentially tried to do a survey of citizens and what they felt were the issues in their countries, and overwhelming majority of Nigerians said corruption was a major problem for them. And leadership has to be responsive to what citizens consider the greatest obstacles to their becoming as great as they could be.
The obvious applause and nods given to the speech rendered by Dr. Obi Ezekosili in this conference is enough reaction to show that the speech is getting somewhere. But how soon and how far can this speech metamorphose into actions in bringing a positive impact into the society called Nigeria? That will be left to be seen. Loretta Chiogo, reporting for Channels Television.
Well, a mild drama played out in the House of Representatives today as two sets of lawmakers from Katsina State tackled each other over who should be the legitimate representatives in the House. A set of 8 lawmakers from Katsina State, who were on Friday declared as duly elected by an appeal court, had stormed the House, demanding to be sworn in, a position it appears the House is not ready to discuss. One of the lawmakers who spoke to journalists indicted the House of Representatives for refusing to swear them in, saying the House is going against the rule of law.
Now, the confrontation occurred in the chamber before plenary commenced, following the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which had faulted the withdrawal of their certificate of returns. One of the lawmakers walked into the chamber. Now, a scuffle broke out when he was cited by some of the lawmakers sacked by the appeal court, who then told him to leave the chambers. The confrontation was, however, resolved by other lawmakers who were present. The lawmakers were then invited to a meeting of the All Progressive Congress lawmakers in the House of Representatives, but they were not satisfied with the outcome.
The position of the House of Reps is very clear. They said it's a tradition, and this tradition is above the law. They said that the tradition, they said that House of Reps or Senate cannot swear in anybody who came with a court order, whether from the Federal High Court or from the Court of Appeal, until the case terminated in the Supreme Court. These people are sitting there illegally for 23 months.
Minutes later, the minority leader who presided over the meeting spoke on the outcome of the meeting.
Well, a meeting is a family meeting, like PDP always says.
No, not PDP, sir. Some members of the family are not happy with it.
Even in your own family, your immediate family, not everybody is happy.
Okay, sir, hold on, sir. We want to know exactly what's the position of the House. These people. What's the position of the House?
The House will follow procedure, will follow tradition, and will follow the law. That is the position of.
Which one supersedes?
The law supersedes.
Okay, because they are claiming that you are allowing tradition to supersede.
No. The law will take its natural course.
The law has taken course already now.
The law will take its natural course. It's a pre-trial matter. Thank you.
From all indications, it appears the House of Representatives will wait for the Supreme Court to resolve this matter once and for all before the House takes its own decision. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
Well, the Nigerian police force has banned gatherings, receptions and carnivals at airports across the country. In a press release, Force Public Relations Officer Mr. Frank Mba explained that the ban is part of a deliberate effort towards averting any security breach and protect critical infrastructure, travelers, as well as airport staff. The police authorities has therefore directed all airport command commissioners and state commissioners of police housed on the airports to ensure compliance with the directive. This order is coming a day after the supporters of Rivers State Governor Chibuike Amechi forced their way onto the airport tarmac in Port Harcourt, an act seen as a security breach. In part 2 after the break, I'll be joined by Linda Akigbe from our Abuja studios, plus Nigeria High Commissioner in India protests killing of citizen in Goa. That's in a moment. Stay with us.